Hello and welcome to Eat Your Backyard. This is the Sunday morning live stream. Well, it actually turned into afternoon, so I went on a little adventure, and I'm going to tell you about. It's related to the subject of this video, which is dwarf Cavendish banana trees and the Monstera Delicioso, which is a longtime favorite of mine. It's a type of fruit that is actually quite poisonous when it is unripe. Once it's ripened, it is edible, but still contains a lot of acids in it. But I love it. And you might overlook it, but one of the things I like to do on Sunday mornings is go to Walmarts and Lowe's and Home Depots and chain stores like that and hunt for any unique, interesting plants I've been looking for and see if I can find any deals on staples that I know are going to work in my yard. And I did that this morning. Believe it or not, one of the favorite places I have for getting plants is our Walmarts. I am actually in zone 10A, so I have a zone 10A Walmart right down the street, so I can go there, and occasionally they get really good stuff and the prices are really good. You just kind of have to know what to look for. Another way to get the plants is to go online on Amazon. You can get just about everything there. If you want to do that, you can support the channel by using any of the links down in the description. I can hear my hens. We're going to take a commercial break here to go gather my lunch here in a moment, but one of the ways you can support the channel is anytime that you go to purchase something on Amazon, just go to one of the videos on Eat Your Backyard, click on any of the links to the seeds and sugar canes and bamboos and chocolate pudding fruit trees and cotton candy trees and all this world of beautiful edibility. Just use those links there. Those are affiliate links. That means that if you click on the link, a very small portion comes back to the channel, and that helps me do things like buy the goofy gimbal I'm using here, which is fun for me. So, okay. I have purchased at that Walmart, actually I went to 2 Walmarts and I purchased 3 bananas at one and the Monstera plant at the other. They both had different things and they were both in different zones. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And I thought maybe I would search some Walmarts down in zones deeper tropical to see if they have more things like mango trees. I actually found a mango tree at a Walmart about a couple weeks ago, Malacca mango. It's a patio type mango and I planted that and it's already looking great. This is one of those like Tommy Atkins, like, oh, please, Chicken Joe, please, you're on the internet, man. Well, man. Okay, now cackle all you want. Wait, it's not that bad actually. I like to say it's. Look at you. And you know what's so interesting about these little hens is that they are always looking to see where I am if I'm out here, and they'll get a little chatty when I'm out here. Of course, they're hoping I'll bring them some treats because we're always bringing them treats. So we got them trained to just see us as non-stop treat machines. You know, a treat to a chicken could be a handful of crabgrass. Look at, just take a chicken moment. They're just looking at this bowl that I use to collect eggs. Get them to look up so you can see what they look like. This is what a healthy chicken looks like. Glowing with energy, but also shiny feathers, bright eyes, clear eyes. Look at how red and healthy those crowns look and the wattles. And they are in good shape, and that's because they are pasture raised. I was using the incorrect term of pasteurized. They are pasture raised. They get to eat wild stuff, including bugs and the veggies of the yard, which are not non-stop. They eat a lot of fruit actually. They have a diet high in fruit, and they're eating from. Yes, thank you, girls. Appreciate you. They have a diet that's rich in fruits, and those fruits are rich in vitamins as well as all the kind of veggie stuff we feed them, because we fertilize them quite readily with the bunny manure, which is top shelf. Oops, interruption. Sorry. We'll let that go. I don't want to. One of the barred rocks is in there trying to lay an egg. I'm gonna leave it alone. My policy is, if I lift this thing up and there's a hen in there doing work, I'm just gonna come back later, because one of the things that can happen with hens is they become broody, meaning they kind of guard their eggs or become possessive. When they stay in the coop, it's no good. And these birds could come like that, but you know, we manage them in a way that we reduce that from happening. Untie my shoe. All right, so we'll leave the egg collection system right up on the roof. Hey, Joe. Good to see you on the stream, for sure. Yep, we're just out here with the chickens. And I think the next thing, now that we've attempted that, the next thing is going to be to show you the bananas that I got. I got to decide where to put them. Of course, the banana trees, you know, fruit tree placement. When I go on these missions, it's more or less, you know, I'm finding things and I really have no idea where I'm going to put them. I just know I can fit them in somewhere. I might have to make a change or do a thing, but this is a pretty good picture of what the yard sunlight situation looks like. And your sunlight situation will be very important to your ability to grow. Understand that and how it interacts. And that's the south end of my yard. And so I've intentionally kept the growth fairly low, you know, enough spaces so it's at least partial sun in most spaces. These Musa banana trees might violate that, but I can always move them. But that sunlight is a critical asset, of course. And it can also be a critical killing asset effect if you have plants that are sensitive to that. So, let me see if I can adjust this. Looks like the gimbal's like off a little bit. Maybe I'm off. Well, anyway. So you need to understand the sun needs of the plants you're planting. Of course, that goes without saying, probably, but it's really important with bananas. Really important. So bananas want sun, but they will grow up and dominate everything below them in some cases. So, you know, clumps can become quite shady, but they will grow best and produce best in full sun. Now, the type of banana I got is a dwarf Cavendish, which is incredibly common, very hardy type of banana. I got several growing here. Here's one that has fruit on it. It didn't set great fruit because this was a cutting that I planted there. So cuttings that I plant from pups never seem to produce great fruit. For me, you know, the first round, but the second round, like you can see, it's got a nice pup there. That second round is going to produce I'm sure, a full hand of Cavendish bananas, which are excellent. But these will be excellent. I'm not turning my nose up at them at all. And back here are some more around this corner, because I really want to keep this southeast corner free for sun to come into the yard. So I got some sugar cane, I've got some dwarf banana trees, and you can see that one is super healthy looking, you know. Very, very healthy looking. It's growing in sand. That's what it's growing in. That with, you know, now I'm starting to really get into chop and drop, so I'm just constantly layering down vegetative stuff there to feed back in, and it's going to be more and more built up as I get more and more things to chop and drop. Okay, I'm going to get back to the bananas, but check this out. This is a longan tree, which is a relative of the lychee. It has a hard shell on it with they call it dragon's eye fruit because the pit is black with a translucent white outer core about the size of an eyeball. So it's really cool. And this year it produced flowers for the first time in years, and it's grown vigorously, and I did some trimming. You know, I try to trim in stages really because I didn't need to trim more. So anyway, I can only process so much trimmings at a time. But I left some of these larger pieces. You know, when you trim a fruit tree, typically you want to get the wood out of it to get the energy back in the smaller branches to produce more fruit. So I left a couple of those, but if you look down beneath it, my composting system here's where I store all the stuff I'm about to cut. My composting system is ready to receive more. And what I do is, you know, I cut them and then I drag them over and let them dry. Under there, they drop the leaves. I move those leaves into the chicken coop. The chickens compost it and turn it into soil, and et cetera, et cetera. The system goes on. So I'm going to trim these really soon. But the reason I brought that up is these bananas are doing great, but they need a lot of water, and it just occurred to me I should probably put a lot more vegetative stuff in there to hold the water on the roots better. Out here it's okay for it to be fairly dry, but you know, all throughout here I need to do more of that. So maybe I'll take these longan leaves that are right here and just transfer them directly into this bed. All right, so let's go look at the new fruit trees. There's my new mango. That's that patio mango, the Malika. What do you know about them apples? At Walmart? Yeah. By the way, I have no affiliation with Walmart. All right, here we go. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now I gotta warn you, I have limited battery on this phone. I decided to do the stream anyway, so if I cut out, I apologize. Please leave comments. If you like the video, let me know what you think, what you're doing with this kind of stuff in your life. I love that kind of feedback. And also give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, learned anything, liked it, found it entertaining, that kind of thing. All right, let's get back to it. Where to put these? Well, first of all, look at the plant itself. Nice and healthy. It's all bananas. I always look for when I'm buying them. There's a nice swollen base to it. That the connection to the soil in the pot is rock tight. It should be. I mean, it should be root bound and ready to rock, in my opinion. I like that. You can see some of the roots coming up over the top, but you know, this one is about at the perfect spot. I might have to trim a little of the roots off the bottom. Uh-oh, looks like I might cut out here soon. I apologize. I just got the low power thing again. But anyway, I got these 3 dwarf Cavendishes. They were $7 a piece, $8, I guess, a piece. And I got this Monstera Delicioso, which is an incredibly beautiful. This one requires much less sun, so you know, I may be able to even place that kind of in the shady chicken area. But talk about tropical, there's nothing more. Hello, Gerald. Welcome aboard. Yeah, we're rocking it. We got many inexpensive dwarf Cavendish healthy trees in a Monstera. And now I just got to figure out where I'm going to put it. But yeah, these are super healthy. A lot of times I'll look to see if there's 2 shoots in here, but I really didn't care this time, and simply because the pot was very small and the tree was very large, so this will be a good start. I could, I suppose, continue to extend right here, and I like to do this, just place them in there and trying to get a feel for what it would look like. And of course, it just looks like a little bit more of the banana grove. I could extend this whole area out just a bit, because this keeps with the rule of not being too high up to block the sun from the rest of the plants. Or I could create a standalone clump somewhere. And if I'm going to do a clump, I'll go buy another 2 plants and plant a whole bunch of them. Because the idea on a banana clump, and this is really the key way to do bananas, is to be getting nonstop banana harvesting. And I've done that several times. I've done it with Cavendish before, and it pays to have a nice clump, and they look beautiful when they grow all together like that. They love to grow in a clump. I look at them like giant onions. They're funyuns, dwarf funyuns, gigantic funyuns. They only get about 8 feet tall, which is nice, a nice feature. And I've heard they're very hardy in even colder zones, so you might look into that if you're in a colder zone. Look what I've got growing in the cuttings bin here lately. This is a type of like yellow flower. If you know the name of it, let me know. I know it's good for chop and drop. It probably is considered somewhat invasive, but I can easily control it. This is a Persian mulberry I grew from a cutting. Beautiful. Going very well. Of course, the carrots. We always got to have carrots You know, because we got rabbits, and they're giving us the fuel for everything. Very nice. Yeah, that Monstera Delicioso plant. Let's look at that. It's actually got a, I think it had a tag on it. Or it has the thing on the side of it. Yeah, Better Homes. Monstera Deliciosa. Mexican sunflower. I think you're right. I think that is the name of it. Excellent. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, so Monstera Swiss Bush is what it's called. Maybe it's not the Deliciosa. Interesting. I don't know. Monstera? Is there some other type of Monstera? Oh man, I wonder. Either way, I'm stoked. I want to have that look in the yard. Yeah, and then I got a couple other things growing. From cuttings, I recently got some of this variegated vine. That's fun. Common house plant, but you know, good to have. I'm going to start getting that going in the backyard a bit more. This is an interesting shrub plant I got cutting off. I don't really know what it is, but it seems to be alive. Yeah, other than that, just one unique kind of frangipani. So I got to decide exactly where to plant this stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to make sure that it's in full sun. One option is to plant it in the front yard. I don't know if I like that so much. Just things that fruit copiously being in the front yard, kind of drawing people, tempting people to come pick bananas. It's just, it becomes a thing I don't know if I'm interested in. So I could, see this little area here? I could occupy that with bananas. And that might be interesting. These little orange trees, this fig tree is just kind of in its dormant year one stage. It'll go off no problem next year. This orange tree could pick up. It's kind of survived better than anything else. But it's really not doing that much. But if I put a banana patch in here, it would be blowing up all the time. Problem is we use this to throw the ball and everything, so we don't want to clog it up too much with plants. Another option is to put it back here, but that's more of a partial shade, partial sun area. And I've got the lime tree there. Oh, by the way, the lime tree. I bought a 8-foot fiberglass stake. I'm going to stake this up and have it be directly up like this way, make it about 6 feet tall just by doing that. But I got to train this key for lime to do what I want. Stoked about that thing. Need limes in my life. Who doesn't need a lime in their life? I'll have limes in my life here in probably 2 years if I do things correctly. The dwarf coconut tree is really doing well. Here's an update on that for those of you who follow the channel. Oh, that's cool. I'll go check that out. But check out the progress on this newly planted less than a year ago, dwarf Malay coconut tree. Why do you have a dwarf coconut tree instead of a big one is a question that could be asked. Why would we do that? And the reason why a lot of people like these, including myself, is that they are quick to produce fruit. That's a cool attribute. You can get fruit. I expect to be getting coconuts off of this thing in a year or two, even though it's so tiny. Of course, I'm going to give it the best nutrients and care for it. But yeah, that's incredible. The other thing is that it doesn't get as tall. So it grows much more slowly, and the maximum height could be something like, maybe 30 feet. Probably less. And a regular coconut tree just skyrockets, takes longer to fruit, and the tallness of it makes the fruit almost inaccessible unless you know how to get up a coconut tree. So it's Joe, it's much easier to get the fruit. Much easier. I mean, you don't have to climb it to get the fruit for the first 15 years, 20 years. You don't need a ladder. It's the only way to go. And I had a Puerto Rican friend who, a neighbor of mine, and he would say back in Puerto Rico, they would you know, coconuts were like the, you know, staple and so on and so forth. So I was always giving him coconuts. He'd love it. Come over, get it. You know, just take 20 coconuts. And it was off that Malay dwarf coconut tree. And those coconuts were like so sweet, man. So good. You know, the regular coconuts, giant green coconuts are good, I think. But I tend to say, my opinion is that that dwarf coconut. Oh, I remembered. I let Penelope out to free range this morning in the bunny run. Dug herself silly by now. Oh, Penelope. There you are. No, not too bad. She's wild. Hey, you want a carrot? Want a carrot? Come on. Come on, Penelope. Here's the concept that I was thinking of this morning, was that I would make a door. You can hear the chickens on the other side of this. They want to come through. They can hear me in here, of course. But was to make a door here to slide up to be able to allow the chickens to come through into here. I mean, that's almost certainly got to happen. Yeah, she's been eating the sugar cane and the lemongrass all morning, which is really good for her. Not bad. Cool fall day. Fall has fallen. Has happened. Which is such a relief. God, so hot for so long. I like the heat, but it's just so pleasant to have the change. I mean, when it is 80 degrees with 15 knot winds, it feels like, you know, winter to me now. I love it. I love the change of it, but it's not too extreme. You know, get enough days where we could wear a jacket enough. I can, at least, because I get cold so easily. What are you doing down there, Penelope? Yep. She loves that lemongrass. She'll trim it up so that it's a perfect little umbrella. Now, because these rabbits are eating high nutrient dense foods all the time, they're producing the finest manures. I'm so stoked on the results in the yard. I couldn't have imagined it would be progressing this quickly, but it certainly is. All the systems connecting together. Hey, Flatjacks, good to see you. Everything's good in the hood. I'm just marveling at how all these systems I've got going now all connect together quite nicely. And now I'm positioned to connect the systems in this backyard out to even more things. One of the cool things I'm really planning right now is the nodes in the network thing in permaculture. You know, that's one of the principles, to be a node in a network, so to speak. I forget the exact words, but you know, you're in a system and you say, give, you know, person X A, and he gives you B that you need, and B lets you do C, which then you get, yeah, and that kind of thing. So I want to really establish that. I wasted a lot of output of my yard. That's another permaculture principle, is the, you know, to get a yield. And I did get a yield, but some of it I wasted this year. I think wasted its potential. I put it in compost and stuff, rotten mangoes. I could have easily traded for things, you know, just bartered and traded for things I need in the yard. I'm super excited about that part. But, you know, getting this yard ultra healthy and productive and sustaining independently as I have, now I'm positioned to do that. I'm positioned to have a yield. I'm positioned to even be able to process things I have, like with a dehydrator, and store energy. That's another key permaculture principle. I'd encourage everybody watching this stream and video in the future to consider jumping on the permaculture train, so to speak, because it's really cool. It's had a good effect in my life in more ways than one. Some of the ways I would say are, I should make a video about this one, but just the idea, because it's been a really meaningful part of my life, which is that, first of all, most importantly, I would say it's a place that my family is drawn to, that they enjoy, they want to be out here. Like every single person who's in my family, who's in my house every day, naturally is drawn to coming out and interacting with the backyard. So that that is the best part. But then also just the nutrition value. Now I'm eating pasture raised and organic eggs every day, and getting that kind of multivitamin of life. I'm going to very soon start to be able to take moringa leaf, which, you know anything about moringa leaves, I don't know how you say it, but yeah, the moringa tree, that it is highly, highly nutritious. So I plan to incorporate this into my diet on a regular basis. Now, I know exactly what makes this moringa. I don't know how it's made. That seems something like a miracle to me, but I know exactly everything that's being input into this thing that I control, which is, the nutrients and so on. So it's closed loop, nothing, bad is going into it. So it's like the best multivitamin anyone could grow in their backyard. And I'm growing a whole grove of them, despite the fact that they grow about 10 feet a year if you're doing it right. But you look at it like a amazing big vegetable. And if you feel the leaves, they're just so soft. Jack always says that, like, oh yeah, they feel so soft. The softness, they're just pleasing to touch. But you can eat them. They taste like horseradish, a little bit. Or you can just, I would say the best thing is just to, chew some down every day. That's what I'm going to try to do, but we'll see how that theory goes. Yeah, there you are. There you are. What are the hens doing? I always wonder what happens in chicken life. Oh, there they are. Yeah, Gerald, you might have to pull the trigger on rabbits, man. I mean, that was the game changer for me, without any doubt, was the rabbit situation. And since you mentioned the rabbits, maybe this will help out anybody who's looking to get rabbits. I just figured all this stuff out, just fumbling forward as the fool. Oh, any other tree that has edible leaves in Florida that will grow? That's an incredibly good question. We'll do a quick thing on that. Hopefully my phone doesn't die. If it does, again, apologies. It's running out of batteries. Decided to do the stream. But yeah, I built this hutch. Fairly straightforward. I'm going to do a video about how to build it, just highlight every part of it, but it's just, pretty straightforward, I guess. There were a lot of little engineering challenges I had to overcome along the way, but got it figured out. And you can see we got natural hay. They love this. But that produces this, and that's the gold. Look at that. It's like perfect little pellets. A friend of mine was saying you could probably put it in a machine and spread it like normal fertilizer. I might try that, to put it in and spread it like normal fertilizer. That's that right there is my fertilizer for everything. That can be applied directly to everything in the yard. I fertilize my lawn, I fertilize my vegetables, the fruit trees, the tropical ornamentals, everything. Everything that I grow is turboed, and by this, without this, and without it being resident right in my yard. Plus, I like the idea I control what goes into these bunnies, so only organic feed, all a lot of veg from the yard. That's all feedback stuff. This is an interesting area. I'm actually getting ready to remove these little pieces here, but this has become a hayfield of crabgrass, which they love, all the animals love, and it's going to be nutrient dense because these are like the bunny pellets that hit the edge and ricochet off, but produces lush hay. In Florida, the hay would be, St. Augustine grass, various crabgrasses. That's what's growing back there, and the bunnies will eat it down like sucking on a piece of spaghetti. They love it so much. All right, the question was leaves, edible leaves. Yes, here's a brown turkey fig, edible leaf. This is a pigeon pea, certainly edible leaf. This will fix nitrogen in your soil too. Really important pioneer plant. Of course, the moringa, we talked about that. The papaya, edible leaf. Soursop leaf, right, edible leaf. That's right, yeah. I've only got the little soursop leaves, but tamarind leaves. These tamarind leaves are definitely edible leaves. I can find one, get off. Anyway, I'm not going to try to rip off a tamarind leaf. Soursop, certainly. This one's young, so I'm not going to rip off any leaves. You can see those are edible. This one's a little caloric. It's not looking super healthy, but it's going to be okay. Mulberry, certainly. Mulberry leaves are actually quite good, especially the green tips. Mulberry is the champ, though. Mulberry is the ultimate champ. Now let's give it the chicken test. Please, battery, don't die. In the middle of it. Where are they? Oh no. I left it open. There's been a chicken escape. They'll come over. Look at this. There's the mulberry leaf. Full of vitamins. Chicken vitamin time. These chickens have been hand-fed so much that I think they just like the experience of hand feeding, but especially these barred rocks. Okay, how about this one? Papaya? They will eat it. There you go. Yeah, it's kind of gross, the papaya, but they'll eat it. And it's edible. Pigeon pea. Hey, you want pigeon pea? Oh, they're gonna